Representative Harding.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I apologize. Mr. Speaker, I rise this evening to discuss this bill tonight. We've gone on for many hours now, so I'll be brief. The previous representative this evening had talked about some of the second chances. I think there's been a big discussion tonight about how this bill may provide some second chances, and that's inherently American. I think we all agree that second chances are a good thing. However, I think it's important to note, as a previous representative did earlier this evening, that the criminal justice system here in Connecticut, for pretty much all the crimes that are included in this particular bill, have diversionary programs already. There's about 9. There's nearly about 10 diversionary programs already provided to defendants of crimes here in the state of Connecticut. And generally, as I said, all the crimes that are contained within this bill are eligible for those diversionary programs. So if an individual commits a crime, is charged with a crime, arrested for a crime, there is already a system and program provided to them for these particular crimes to provide that individual a second chance. So, for example, if an individual is charged with a DUI, there's the alcohol education program. And as long as that individual completes that alcohol education program successfully, doesn't reoffend, the charge is dropped without ever taking a conviction. If an individual is charged with a domestic violent crime, a family crime, there's the family violence education program. And if an individual participates in that program successfully and doesn't reoffend, the charge is dropped without a person ever taking a conviction. And there's multiple others I can go on. In fact, for example, the alcohol education program is offered to individuals every 10 years. So you could utilize the alcohol education program today, for example, and by 2032, if you reoffend and get another DUI, you're re-eligible again for the alcohol education program, and again, never taking a conviction. So I would argue that we already inherently have a system in place here in Connecticut for second chances. And that's a good thing. I think we need to promote that, maybe enhance that in many aspects. But I would argue, as I said, that there are many programs available for second chances already prior to a person ever taking a conviction. So that's the first point I wanted to address. The second point, I think, the more important point to me, and really the reason that I'm going to be opposing this bill this evening, is the fact that we do have a pardons and paroles process. And I do know that pardons and paroles process is far from perfect. And I really wish we were voting on a bill tonight to enhance that process, to improve that process, to make it less bureaucratic, to address some of those standards in that process. I really do wish that, because I think that would be the proper avenue for us to be going to address this bill. We already have a pardons and paroles process that an individual can apply for a pardon and would be eligible if after review the Pardons and Paroles Board agrees that the individual deserves a pardon. But I think it's really important to highlight one particular thing, and one particular thing that's different from this bill and the pardons and paroles process. And the one most significant thing that I think is most frustrating to me and upsetting to me is the fact that the pardons and paroles process allows a victim notification and an opportunity to speak. And tonight, in this bill, we're not providing that opportunity. We're telling that victim they don't have an opportunity to speak. They don't have a voice on whether or not this crime is dropped. We're taking away that victim's right tonight. And that is the biggest difference between the pardons and paroles process, where a victim is notified and has an opportunity to speak about the victimization that they've had to incur and have to live with possibly for the rest of their life. as opposed to this bill, which tells that victim, you don't have a voice, you won't be noticed, the crime will automatically be expunged. That is not a policy that we should be supporting here in the state of Connecticut. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.